Good morning, everyone. It's September 17th, 2020. How do you know what to believe? How do you know what information you are absorbing is true? When you have news media calling Donald Trump a liar and Fox News calling mainstream media when Fox News is mainstream media, when you have Donald Trump calling and right wing calling mainstream media fake news, how do you know? This is a difficult thing, and the best thing I can tell you is any information coming out at the institutional level, meaning um, media outlets such as CNN and Fox News, and individuals like Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi, and probably shouldn't believe it at all. If they cannot offer solid proof, it shouldn't be believed. You should not believe anything that cannot be proven. If they can't prove that X, Y, or Z happened, and you simply have to take their word for it, well, there's a problem with that. And I would hope that most of you would agree with this. These people make a living lying to you. These people make a living controlling you. How do you believe people who have a vested interest in you believing them? Like Donald Trump. In this whole election thing, it looks to me like the Democrats straight up through the election. I mean, who in their fucking right mind? Well, who in their right mind is going to vote for any of them? But who in their fucking right mind is going to vote for a pervert like Joe Biden? I mean, Donald Trump is a pervert too. But at least what Donald Trump says sounds good. Sounds good, right? Not that it is. I mean, you know, let's take the guns first, due process later. A lot of things he said does not sound so good. Like the military being responsible for coming to your door and ejecting you with or injecting you with some pharmaceutical toxins, like mercury, aluminum. And I'm not completely against the pharma industry. There are some medications that do what they're supposed to do, but there are very few of them, like antibiotics. They do what they're meant to do. Like painkillers, they do what they're meant to do. Although, if you take them too long, you will get addicted to them. But, if you take them for a few days and stop, you'll be alright. You'll be alright. So, my deal is this. Now, I've had a channel where I cited articles, and the problem with this is I wasn't there, so I don't know, and neither do any of these people out there on your local news network. Take for example what's happened there in Arizona with the two deputies that were shot. Now, I watched the video, and I hate to say this, but the deputies, actually, I really don't hate to say it, the deputies or police officers got exactly what was coming to them. When you make a living violating people's rights, when you make a living intruding into their lives, when you make a living assaulting, robbing, kidnapping, eventually you're going to get treated exactly like the criminal you are. These are criminal actions by any standard, any reasonable standard. If I were to pull somebody over and insist upon them getting out of their car for nothing more than a statist expired tag, I would be a criminal and I would be prosecuted as a criminal. But in this nation, two systems of justice exist. You have one for government officials like police and judges and congressmen and senators and presidents, and then you have the system of justice for the rest of us. And by the way, I would say, and probably right now there's three systems of justice, because now the likes of Antifa and Black Lives Matter and these people are highly favored in court. A lot of times their charges are just thrown out. So how can you believe anything that you're hearing from really anyone, including myself? You can't. You can't believe it unless you bear witness to it firsthand. And if you haven't witnessed it firsthand, then you really, really do not know, do you? You have to take somebody's word for it. Remember, we live in a nation where the police, the politicians, the judges, the prosecuting attorneys, the city council members, all of them routinely lie to you. And the only thing I can say is if you really believe these people, man, you are fucking stupid. You're fucking stupid. There's no other way to put it. You're like the asshole that sped up on me this morning because I was trying to merge into traffic. You know what I did? You know what I did? I merged anyway. Made that motherfucker slam on their brakes and almost wreck. Why? Because he was being a fucking asshole. They were not allowing me to merge. They intentionally sped up. So I obliged their assholeness and matched it. So whenever you see these news stories about, and I'll admit, I was worried about getting sick from a disease at first, but then all these inconsistencies started popping up like they always do, like from 9/11, the Boston bombings, the Parkland shooting, and many other situations. The stories always change. And this is why you should not believe the so called experts either. You know, the Anthony Fauci's of this world. Because most of the time, they're proven wrong. Look at Albert Einstein. He says that, you know, the speed of light is the cosmic fucking speed limit. But this has been proven to not be true. And yet we still cite it as if it is. You have to understand most of science is based on theory. And theory is something that's not proven. If it sounds like the most reasonable thing, you might lean that way, right? But you should not take total. Um, you shouldn't take it as truth until you know for sure. Until they know for sure. Because how many times have they said something and years later we find out that they were wrong? They're always wrong. They're wrong way more than they are right. So why do you believe them? You, the individual, were endowed with a mind of your own. You were given a gift of intellect. Why don't you fucking use it? Instead of blindly believing the Lester Holmes of this world, the Don Lennons, the Tucker Carlsons, the what's that motherfucker's name? The Cuomo dickhead on CNN. Instead of believing them blindly, you should ask yourself what their bias is. What is their bias? Obviously, the Cuomo faggot and the Lemon faggot, they they have a ideology, right? Same with Carlson. Is Tucker a little more honest than the rest of them? Sure, sure he is. But at the end of the day, he still has an ideology. He still can't see that things like police forces are really a bad thing. He still defends these individuals in blue, even though, as a matter of routine, they commit all manner of crime, including but not limited to child trafficking, drug trafficking. But somehow, some way, the American people still view these individuals, these lying sacks of shit, like Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi, and the rest of them, the ones I already named, they still believe them. That makes us a nation filled to the brim with stupid, unthinking individuals who really can't be called individuals anymore because they're in a state more like that of a hive mind, where my side is right, your side is wrong, even though both sides are wrong. Anyway, thought I'd share this thought with you. Don't believe what you hear, and if you see it on TV, don't believe it either because, well, unless you're there on the ground, you can't tell what's real and what's not. And I'll give you one final example here. So, this hurricane that's happening, traffic cams there in Alabama tell a completely different story than what's on the news. Reality never, ever matches what is being said by the politicians or the news media. Never. This I can say with 100% certainty. Till next time. kill the state, live free.